Hey guys, welcome to Engineers Online. In today's video, we'll discuss about AC voltage controller. So what is AC voltage controller? It is a thyristor based device. It is a thyristor based device which converts fixed AC voltage into variable AC voltage. Okay, so fixed AC voltage to variable AC voltage. It converts fixed AC voltage to variable AC voltage, but one thing we should keep in mind that frequency remains constant. For both input and output, frequency remains constant. Okay. Suppose we give 50 hertz current in input, then we'll get 50 hertz in current in variable AC voltage as an output also. Okay. So AC voltage controllers have different types like single phase and three phase, and there are also in these parts there are subparts also which is unidirectional and bidirectional. Okay, what is unidirectional bidirectional? It is nothing, it's just another name for half wave, and bidirectional is full wave. Okay, and there are some applications for voltage controllers. Voltage controllers are used in both industrial and domestic purpose, like lighting control lighting control, where we can control the intensity of light, for speed control of AC drives, speed control of AC drives, induction heating. Induction heating can also be used in industries and for cooking in domestic, for home purpose also. So these are some examples where this controller is used. Now in this video today, we'll learn about single phase full wave controller. Okay, single phase full wave controller with R load. In later videos, I'll also explain these circuits with different type of loads also, for both one single phase and three phase. This is a circuit for single phase full wave AC controller. So here you can see it is a voltage source which is Vs, and the value for Vs is Vm sin omega t. Okay, these are two thyristors, T1 and T2. T1 and T2 are connected in anti-parallel to each other. Why anti-parallel? Let's see, here it is, this point is A and this point is B. So the positive terminal of thyristor T1 is connected to A, and negative terminal of thyristor T1 is connected to B. But in the case of T2, we can see that negative terminal of this thyristor T2 is connected to point A, and positive terminal of this thyristor T2 is connected to B. So these are parallel to each other but anti-parallel, because as they are connected in opposite polarity. Okay, this current is source current which will flow through these thyristors, and this is output voltage across the load, and in this circuit our load is resistor. Okay, so this is a full graph, full wave graph for this circuit. Okay, so let's understand this graph. It is this is most important for exam purpose also and for knowledge purpose also. This is it's very important for both knowledge purpose and for exam purpose. So let's see, this the first slide shows the input voltage. Input voltage, what? This Vs, this is input voltage, and this is Ig1 and Ig2. What is Ig1 and Ig2? Ig1 is gate current, and by one we can see that gate current for T1 or thyristor 1. Okay, so this is Ig2, which is gate current for thyristor T2. Okay, this is output voltage V naught, which will appear across this resistor, and this is output current, which will flow through this resistor. This is VT1, VT2. We'll discuss about with VT1 and T2 later in this video. So right now the source is applied to the circuit, and we are taking the only half positive cycle. Okay, this is half positive cycle we are considering for right now. So in half positive cycle, we can see for some instance the voltage and current across the load is zero. But after this point, which is also known as alpha, and alpha, what is alpha? Alpha is a firing angle. Firing angle for what? Firing angle for thyristors T1 and T2. Okay, so from 0 to alpha, there is no voltage and no current across this load. But at alpha, at point alpha or at angle alpha, we provide the gate current or triggering pulse to this thyristor. And after the triggering pulse is given to this thyristor, the thyristor will starts to conduct. Okay, as it is in forward bias for the first cycle, T1 will starts to conduct, and after just alpha, we can see that we are getting voltage across the resistor and current also through the resistor. Okay, now what is VT1 and VT2? From 0 to alpha, there is no conduction, there is no voltage drop and current flowing through this resistor. So here also we can get potential drop. Across the thyristor, we get the potential drop, which is VT1 and VT2. So why it is like this shape? From 0 to alpha, where the resistance, the load resistor is not getting any voltage or current, but at T1 there is a potential drop which is increasing with this Vs. As you can see here, this Vs is increasing and this VT1 is also increasing. But just after alpha, when the T1 starts to conduct, so the voltage drop appeared here is disappear right now. So it mm, after alpha it goes to zero, slightly above, slightly above to the zero. And same in T2, there is a for first cycle this is negatively charged and this is positively charged. So this is also in forward bias and will also get potential drop across T2. So as there are the potential drop across T2 is negative in nature. So we'll get curve in negative. And but after just after alpha, it also goes to zero, but not exactly zero, slightly slight above from the zero in both positive and negative. Okay. In this first case, we see that only T1 is conducting. Okay. T1 is triggered. Now for negative half cycle. For negative half cycle, T1 gets reverse biased and T2 gets forward biased. So now on, again from 0 to alpha value, sorry, pi to alpha value, we don't get any output for voltage and current at load resistor. Okay, because we didn't give any trigger pulse to T2. But there are some potential drop across T1 and T2. So for T1, now it is negative terminal. So the potential drop is also negative across T1. So this here VT1 is going to zero. Now for T2, the potential drop is positive in nature because they are anti-parallel. So if they are positive, this is negative, and this if this positive, then this is negative. Now this triggering angle will call as pi plus alpha, 0 to pi, and after pi to alpha. So from 0 to this point, it is known as pi plus alpha. Okay. So now at pi plus alpha point, which means this point, will give the trigger pulse to T2, and same which happened here. So T2 starts to conduct, turned on, and we'll get potential drop across resistance. And now so here we completed the 0 to 2 pi, the whole full cycle of this. So as we have seen that from 0 to pi for positive half cycle, T1 is conducting, and for pi to 2 pi, which is negative half cycle, T2 is conducting. So here how we can control voltage from this method. We can control the voltage by adjusting this alpha point. This alpha angle can be adjusted as per our need. Okay, so we can move it to the right or to the left so that we can vary the value of voltage we are getting. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe.